Well, that's new. On that note, it is, for the record, it is May 27th, 2021. And today, this is our regular weekly BDA and AMO training. So as always, this is recorded for those that are not able to attend, so they can listen to it afterwards. We'll post it in the band, and it'll also be in our YouTube group. What we're going to be covering today, though, is going over where resources are. I know there's been, and I'm not going to pretend there's more people on here. So Jeff, I know that we've had some conversations and you've been starting to work with some people. And I know Sylvester has, and Kathy knows where a lot of the stuff is, and she has her own stuff as resources as well. But I want to, for everyone that comes on here and is new, I want to show you where you can find certain things. And then we'll discuss some things afterwards and be more specific. We probably won't take up the whole hour-and-a-half time slot. But I think this will be useful just so that everyone knows where to go to find certain things. I will say on this end that we're going to go through different places. But one of the things that we're working on our end is consolidating in one place. And I know one of the things that's going to end up happening is using HubSpot quite a bit, because HubSpot has a document library that we can turn those documents into links. And then those links can be sent out anywhere. But the advantage of that is that then we don't have multiple places that we're trying to update documents, because we add things to the 3i community all the time. Maybe we bring on a new carrier or a new technology partner. So those things, once they get added, the documents need to be updated, and then we need to put them in all the different places where those documents are. So HubSpot will be the main place, but then we'll have a link library that we're going to put on a document that will go in the band, because the band is the main group that we are going to be using for materials and things like that. But I just want to let everyone know that's the direction that we're going. But the three most important places for everyone to know where to find things of documents, things that we create, any carrier information that we put out on our side, you can of course find it through the carriers themselves and things like that. Or the 3Mark website, but is three places on our end. And this is from the Praxis side. One is HubSpot. There'll be some documents in there and templates and things like that. We'll get into that. We'll take a deeper dive into that. But HubSpot is one place. Band, the band group, that's going to be the main place that you're going to look for any documents or resources or things like that. And there's folders set up there. So anything that has to do with BDAs and AMOs, we're constantly adding documents and files back there so that we can have one place to have those resources. And then the third place is the Google Drive. So those are the three main places where we have resources right now. Again, the whole idea is to consolidate them down using HubSpot as the document library, that will then be able to create links that we will then put a links of, well, this is the document, that this is what it's for, in band, so that you can have a list of all those things and you can search them up of, well, I need this document, and then you can click on the link. It'll be the most updated file. You can download it, use it for whatever you want, send it out, send the link out. So we're going to go through that right now. But first and foremost, let me share my screen. All right. So I'm going to go to band first, and this isn't going to be terribly difficult. But just to make sure everyone knows where it is. So this is going to look different on your phone than it is on the computer, but you have access to both of them. What you're really looking for on here is, if you scroll down a little bit, once you get into the band, scroll down a little bit, you're going to see a file section. And you can click more. And here it's going to show you the most recent updated files. But then if you scroll down, you're going to see the folders. So right now we have a few things in here. So just basically BDA, AMO, materials. As an example, we have the Praxis important contacts. So it's going to pull up the post. You can download it straight from here. But these important contacts are, I want to make sure everyone knew where this is, because these are all the people that are in our network and what they do. Like I said, we have not made this fancy or anything like that yet. But, you know, because it's in a Microsoft doc, you can search up people, but different people that do different things. So our Medicare contacts, our internal contracting, you know, Alexandra, our lead vendors, internal team over at 3Mark, are some of our like Phil Resch, who came out, you know, a week or two ago, Annuities Genius contact, Ryan Long. You know, we have a whole bunch of people in here. So if you're looking for someone that to contact, this important contacts document, and we're going to keep on adding to this. Like, I know I have to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more people to this document of their direct contact numbers, because this is someone for all the BDAs and AMOs you guys have direct contact with, and you guys can call, and many of them, most of these people, you can have the agents call directly as well. But the first person that we want to have, you know, access is you guys, so that you can get the right resources and act as that gateway to those agents and advisors, because that creates that expertise. Like, oh, you know what you're talking about, and they may not know that, you know, you're going to 5 other people to have the conversation. So that's why these contacts are important. This will stay up to date, but again, that can be found in Band. And to use this as an example, what we're going to do is take this document, we're going to put it into HubSpot, and I'm going to, for example, we'll do the lead vendor list. And once it's uploaded here, then what's going to happen is that you can have, you can create a link. We can create a link. And this link then would go into a like an Excel spreadsheet probably. And we'll put that document, the Excel spreadsheet, into here. So it has a list of all the materials that we have, and it has the most recent and up-to-date document, because this, for example, so I take that link, copy. This is what's going to happen. I can post this link and embed this anywhere. And so when someone clicks on it, it's going to pull up that document. And the advantage of this is that you can actually then see, when we go back here, you can see who opened the link, how long they viewed it for. And that gives you useful information to see, well, what's going on if someone's actually looking at the information. So you can download this as well. You can go to all the different pages. But hopefully that makes sense. Jeff, does that make sense?
Sure does.
If it makes sense to you, it should make sense to everyone else. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. That was an easy.
Right. Yep. Listen.
Yep. So
I really am technology challenged.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we're going to be doing with the links, is again have a list of links then all in one place. But I want everyone to have access, direct access to it within the Band, because that will be one place, and that's our own environment that we can control to be able to go into. So look at the Band first for those type of documents. We're going to be converting those over the next little while. You won't be able to see, because everyone has the free version of HubSpot. You can only see the first 5 documents that we uploaded. So You won't see everything that's in here and what that looks like, but that's why we're going to fix that using the Excel spreadsheet. All right. Other important things that are in here, just from a document section for right now, is BDA AMO materials, important links. And again, we'll be adding to this. And just for the record too, actually, that's the advantage as well, that you guys can add to this document as well. And we'll show ways to be able to do that in the future in case things pop up. But I want to make this a living, breathing document. And it just has a whole bunch of information. So like quoting engines, carrier playbooks, and microsites to be able to go to for some of the carriers, client-friendly videos, on Unix Universal Life, fixed index, FIAs, personal development stuff that we've put up in the before, recorded trainings on certain things that we think are important that you can send out. And like I said, we're adding to this all the time, but it's just one place to have all important links because we usually have them all over the place and saved in different areas. So the whole idea of what we're doing is making a consolidated list of resources and information that you guys can look up at any time to find what you're looking for any given agent. It does not mean that you're going to use this at all the time. But it does mean that those resources are available so that you can find them.
It's there if we need it.
Exactly. Other thing within the BDA and AMO materials that's important for right now is, and Jeff, you've seen this, and we can change this to any AMO or BDA or brand. But the one that's in here right now, we did for Wella. But this is going to be your core presentation that you're going to want to use if you're talking to an agent and you want to set up another 30-minute conversation and say, hey, let me show you what we actually do and who we are. This is the presentation that you walk through. So you can do this as an individual, or you can do this in group settings. Doesn't matter, but it's already built out. Like I said, the only thing that will change on here is the brand, basically. Because I know we have, for those that are watching this on the recording, we have First Generation, we have Hall of Fame Financial, we have Infinite Insurance, we have a few other places basically that are that would use this presentation to have conversations with agents. So those are the main things on the resource pages. And like I said, we're going to add more to this as we're going along. Same thing with, like, right now we have AIG material folder. We have the momentum program materials. So the scripts, the documents, the overview, all that's built in here. So that's all set on that side as well. But like I said, we're going to be adding to this. There's going to be a lot more documents in here. There's a few, like I said, I went through it through files. You can also go to attachments to find that really easy. And this is on my computer. It's a little harder to find on the phone. Let me actually see if I can pull up real quick. So if you're looking, there's a section at the bottom for your settings that has a check mark in a folder. That's the one that you're going to click on your phone to get access to the documents, because you can send stuff straight from your phone then as well. But that's where you get access to it on your phone, and where you get access to it on the computer for band. And like I said, the message that I want to put out to everyone is these are living documents. So we're constantly adding to them. And the biggest point that I want to make too is, if you run the resources that you think are important, then send an email over to us, take the document and add it yourself. and let us know so that we can update the HubSpot document. But if you find something that you're like, oh, this is a good resource, or this is something that people need to know about, or even a good article or something that is simple that, send it over, put it in the band. Like make a post and say, hey, I just found this resource and would like everyone to check it out. And then we can put multiple eyes on it and determine, oh, well, is this something that we should add as a resource for the entire community? Or is this just something good to know about, but, not something we want to bog people down of understanding what it is, within the community, because we'll have a large list if we keep on doing it. But we want your input. So if you find things that work, if you find cool technologies, articles, tools, services, programs that we can implement on our side and leverage, then post them in the band so that we can add them to these different materials of what's happening. So any questions on that side? Awesome. So other thing then, so we're going to jump over to HubSpot real quick. And I want to walk a couple things through, and this is something you may or may not use right now, but there's two sections. You have the document section. And like I said, you guys are only going to see the first 5 that we posted on the free version. So you're not going to see a lot on here, but what I wanted to mention is that there's also templates as well. So we create these templates, and then what we would do is we would take the templates, put them into a document, and we'll have a template section here then as well. So I'm going to create a folder right now, and we'll create a templates document, the file folder.
So Nathan, that will give us access to anything that exceeds the 5 that we can see on HubSpot.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, because like I said, if you guys, now as an FYI, if you guys want to, if anyone wants to spend $25 a month on HubSpot for themselves at some point, you guys can. We can turn that on for you. But then you can have, you have like 1,000 templates and 1,000 documents that you can upload in there as well, which basically would give you unlimited amount. But so that's an option. But yes, we're going to use Band as the place for that overflow. And for that, we have it all in one place and everyone can see it. That'll be very useful for everyone. But and as an example, some of the important templates, and these are, and I'm going to switch over to the Google Drive for right now. But like I said, Google Drive is going to be less important because we're moving everything into the Band because that's our own environment. Only BDAs and AMOs are on there, so we don't have to go to multiple different places. So we're trying to reduce the amount of places that you guys can find materials. So we're converting that onto Band. But contracting and quoting, for example, like this is a template to send out to someone that says, hey, I want contracting. This gives them the instructions. You'd fill in which contracts, or you can just get rid of this and say, complete your contracting. But before you do, let me say thank you for being part of our community. You would want to make sure that this link that's in here is your unique link. So like Wella has a unique link. Praxis has a unique link. SLP has a unique link. Hall of Fame Financial has a unique link, et cetera, et cetera. That unique link just instantly ties it to you, is what it does. There's no difference in the back office or things like that. But the instructions are already built in of what their next steps have to be. It also has the 3Mark website, and it also has a video explanation of the 3Mark resources and where they can find quotes and illustrations. So that's all built in here, and those are YouTube videos. So that's what the links are for. But that's really, like I said, it's a template. You guys don't have to recreate the wheel or anything like that. Just put in the unique link, their contracts, send this over, and they have some good information. Then you can follow up with them afterwards. But any questions? I won't go through some of the other stuff on that side. But like I said, we're going to take all these and we have them mostly already in there. We are going to turn it into a document. And then we're going to take that document and convert it into a HubSpot document so that then we have a link that can be always updated and you'll know what that link is for. So last of the place is we have a Praxis AMO BDA folder and everyone should be invited to this. Let me make sure that, like, Jeff, you're on here. Let's see. Well, that's not good. I'm going to make sure that that's shared with everyone. But this has, you know, some of the other materials. It has the master grid. It has the pro forma. And apparently I've not shared that with a lot of people. So I will make sure and change that. But it has a lot of those documents. Again, don't worry about the Google Drive as much because we're trying to convert everything into the band so that you don't have band and the Google Drive to go to look for materials. This has some good information as well for right now. I'll invite everyone to it so they have access to it as we're doing that conversion. But all of this is, you know, by probably the end of next week is going to be in band in different folders. So, all right. So any questions about those three places that I went over? So HubSpot, band, Google Drive, band basically being the main place that we're going to create that environment, upload files to. It's also a place for everyone that if you're, you know, have questions or someone needs you need help with a quote or, you know, getting access to WinFlex or whatever it is, that's what this is for. Just post it in here. And then we have multiple people that are looking at this to be able to look at, to be able to help out with those different questions. But any questions about that?
No, it looks like it's pretty self-explanatory. And as I start to use it, if anything comes up, I will reach out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, then on that note, let's shift gears. So that was the first part that I wanted to go over, make sure everyone knew where stuff is. We will work on converting those information and create those different files for the band and what that looks like. But my next question is just take a side note out and just ask, you know, specifically Jeff, because I know you're working on a few things from last week to this week. Like, what's one, I'd say, roadblock or obstacle that you've been running into? You feel that from talking with agents or getting them to the next step?
You know, I don't know that I can say I've had any roadblocks to this point.
Good.
The individuals I've been talking to have been receptive, and we don't have any conflicts as far as appointments to this time. So I can't say that I've run into anything that's really an obstacle.
That's good. Then
yeah, so far they've been receptive.
I was just going to say that was the second question I was going to ask. Then is then on the other side of, you know, triumphs, basically things that have been going well, like over the past week in your conversations with agents, what do you feel has been going like really well?
The idea of the variety of services that are being offered, the opportunity of the growth in marketing and sales ideas that have been that the conversation has lent itself to. Mm-hmm. So to get something specific, you know, the idea of being able to have a point man, if you will, that anything that comes up to them, they know they've got the resources to resolve it, to answer those questions efficiently, knowledgeably. So that's what I've experienced so far in the limited time I've been doing this.
No, that's perfect. Like I said, and if there's stuff that comes up, of course, let us know and how we can help. But it's been a similar message, of course, on our side, and talking to other the BDAs and AMOs that are actually having conversations that is the narrative is one person to help out and be that gateway to a whole bunch of different resources, reduces the amount of time and the amount of people that all these agents are talking to get information that they need. It's a lot on our plate, of course, sometimes, but that's why having that team, knowing where those important contacts are and leveraging other people is the key to making that successful and still being that gateway, that business development advisor for what they're looking for.
Yeah, I believe I have 2 or 3 that are completing, if they haven't already, the appointment papers, the contracting papers. So
perfect. Yeah, then so that was the last piece that I was going to talk about, is just contracting and follow up and things like that. So on that note, so using, again, and this is a reminder, but this is now for some of the people that have been through the class and we did that boot camp. It's always good to get a refresher sometimes. So on that note, the reason I'm bringing up that piece is because using HubSpot to do what you need to do on that side is, of course, extremely important. So making sure that the information is up there, and then updating that information into HubSpot helps with organizing that data, making sure that those people are coming to the next step. So that's really good and really important, and keep on leveraging that as your tool to be able to help out your agents, and just making sure you're following. Like if you send out the contracting paperwork, like make sure you follow up within the next day or two to see if they had any questions, they got it, and what that looks like. So that would be good, but that's perfect. On the contracting side too, of course, Alexandra is our main point of contact. So if there's something that, like you feel that there's a delay, of course, always jump in and check your smart office as well. So real quick, I'll show everyone that.
Yeah, and if I could also state that the convenience of them having just to complete one form, they love.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
With the Sure LC.
Yeah. Yeah. So all I was going to say on that is on your guys' end, 2 things. And like I said, this is for everyone that's on the recording as well, is go into, log into the 3Mark website and click on My Cases. That will bring you to the single sign-on page. I won't do it on my end, but you'll click here, and that will get you into Smart Office so that you can see any of the pending or enforced business that's under you and the agents, and if they've got their writing numbers, and if that's pending. Because again, if you don't see them in Smart Office, that means one of 2 things happened. So there's a couple things. One, the major thing being that they did not actually complete their contracting. If you don't see an agent that you're working with in the Smart Office system, that's what that means, is they haven't completed their contracting, so it hasn't been submitted to the carrier. If it's not submitted to the carrier, then 3Mark doesn't upload that information into Smart Office. So that's a good indication, like, oh, they didn't finish something. And you can check with Alexandra to find out exactly where it's at. Or Jeff, you can touch base with Colleen, because she has access to the back end of Sure LC as well. So just find out before you call the agent. You don't know where they are in the process. Find out from Colleen or Alexandra or whoever your AMO is, where that person's at. And then you can give them a call and say, hey, I see that, contracting isn't actually complete. Like you didn't submit the contract. So no one's working on contracting yet. Go back into SureLC and make sure that you submit that so that we can get working on that for you. And then the second thing that could have happened too is that, as example, Jeff, because I know it's the unique link is well, make sure that for those people that you send it out to, that you're sending that link out to, email Alexandra and tell them that, as an example, I think, who's the person? Like, I don't know if he's but David White, because I see him in the HubSpot. Like David White, check if he's not in Smart Office, then make sure, of course, that you send an email. Well, I'm sorry, take a step back. Whenever you send out contracting, email Alexandra saying that this person is under you. Because
that's something Colleen would
yes. And
would oversee. Yeah.
And I apologize because I know each AMO has a little bit of their different process. Colleen is a huge help on that side, so she's taking care of those aspects. But I was so don't email Alexandra, email Colleen. If you don't see him in Smart Office, just make sure that was taken care of, because those are the two things that happen: is either they didn't submit the contracting, or no email was sent out Colleen to make sure that was done.
Yeah, it wasn't properly designated.
Exactly. Yeah. That's it. And that's a really easy move in the system. And that's why HubSpot is so important, because making those notes in there, knowing what's going on with the agent will be helpful with that. But that's really, if for those that are, don't have a Colleen in their organization, then you would email Alexandra directly, or check with your AMO owner to find out what's going on and with that specific agent. But on that note, those were the main things that I wanted to go over today. I didn't want to spend tons of time. Next week, we're going to have a vendor come in, not a carrier, but I'm going to bring in one of our vendors for technologies and things like that, and a service to the agents to have a conversation with us about how we can market it and use their services as leverage to bring on more agents. So that'll be next week. That'll be what we start off with. But I wanted to take these first 2 weeks, now that we got through 3 carrier ones, just to do some housekeeping, make sure everyone knows where things are at, and go from there. The last thing I'll mention is, and I haven't uploaded it yet, but we did a health insurance 101 training on Monday. So I'm going to upload that into the YouTube, so that everyone can get access to it. I'll post it on Band, but that'll be good for everyone to know about as well. And if you have anybody that's looking at the individual health insurance space, they covered group health insurance briefly as well. But mainly it was in the under 65 health insurance arena that they focused on. That recording will be back there. It's a 2-hour recording. It's basically a health insurance 101 class. So there's things that are constantly going on. We're going to be, you guys are going to get a calendar of events. Like I said, calendar, of course, the most up-to-date one of events and things that are going to go on are in the Band as well. So look at what's happening on that end for the Band, and you'll see things that we're going to be posting up in June, so that we can invite people to. And then I think I mentioned this before, but it looks like July and August, the carriers are opening up their marketers, their wholesalers, to start traveling again. So we'll start planning like a lunch and learn here or there that we can invite a small core group of agents to, because the carriers love the wholesalers like doing those, group of usually 10 to 30 agents, and we'll leverage everyone that we have to get people live in there. And then we usually get the carriers to provide lunch. So it is actually a free lunch. Well, I guess you're paying for it with your time by sitting and learning some information, but it's always good. And the agents love hearing from the carriers directly on things that are going on. So, and we don't have to do any presenting. not up to us. We just got to get people there. But with that said, before I get off, since we do have time, Jeff, anything else on your end or questions? Perfect. Then
No, other than the support's been excellent.
Awesome. Well then, yeah, I know we've got you've got a couple potential big things in the pipeline. So hopefully maybe by the end of the day that we'll know if that's going to potentially happen. For everyone that does hear the recording, Jeff's got a potential case that him and the Weller team are working on for 100,000 hours of premium. So that'll be a good case. But with that said, everyone have a great rest of your day. You know where to find us for questions or anything else. Use the Band app. Make sure you get familiar with it. And again, the other thing I'll say is post if you guys have things that go on in the Band group or want other people to know about, or you have a question, or you just found something useful, because that's our community where we can learn from each other. There's going to be more people. Like we have another 5 people that should be in the band but haven't jumped on the Band group yet. So we're getting them on board, but we have a group out in California. Mike and Evan should be jumping on board to it. Mike and Evan brought on another AMO as well, so he's going to be jumping onto it. And then we have a few others as well. So the Band group will be growing. Use it as everyone sees fit. And we'll become that community and work off each other's knowledge and experience.
Yeah, there is one quick thing, Nathan, for people like me. When you go to YouTube, how do we get to how would I get, or anybody else like me, get to like the information that's on there from Praxis?
That's
like Health 101.
Yep. So that's a perfect, that's a good question. So 2 things is we have a Praxis page and we have a 3i community page. And just so that everyone knows what the difference between each one is, the Praxis page is for our BDAs and AMOs. So the YouTube videos and the things that are on there are specifically for you guys to utilize as BDAs and AMOs. That, it could be like these trainings that we do, they're on here. If we do something for an event for the BDAs, we do that on here. That'll be on there as well. But that's what the Praxis page is for. So we've cleaned up a lot of that stuff that's on there, and that's what that's used for. The 3i community page, the integrity and insurance page, that page is used for agents, because that's our agent community brand, basically. Let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send everyone, I'm going to send the channel. Oops. So sorry, everyone. I'm just pulling up the actual channel, and I'm going to get everyone the link for it, basically. So I'm going to post it right here. So this is and you can just copy and paste it. So I just posted the Praxis channel. And the second one that I posted is the 3i community channel. So save both those links subscribe to them, of course. We don't have tons of subscribers. Mostly we use it for when people view the videos and stuff like that. But it's back there. That's where we're going to have all of the trainings and the information. And like I said, we'll categorize it and all those different things as we go along and make it pretty. But for now, at least you know where content is. There's a lot more stuff in the integrity and insurance community because we've done a lot more for agents, basically. But again, Praxis is for BDAs and AMOs. And then the integrity and insurance YouTube page is for agents. So that's stuff that you can pull from and send directly to agents for any trainings that we've done in the past on that side. Any other questions on that, Jeff?
No, thank you.
All right, then with that said, we're going to end the recording. Everyone take a look at those materials. Again, I can't stress enough, use the band. And we'll go from there. But I appreciate everyone's time, and we'll be talking real soon.